We are live. Raiders week. We are 5-2. Dad, what are your thoughts of the game? What do you think is going to happen today?
All right. Well, I'm optimistic. My five keys for the game are: has the coaching staff gotten them ready? Is the game plan solid? And are they motivated? Certain games you get up for, others, you mail it in. I don't think this is a mail-in game. I think Stefanski's will have them up. At least I'm hoping. That's the case. But can the players step up that need to? Baker, the offensive line, Bryant, Peoples-Jones, Hunt, Jarvis, Miles, and the defense. Can all those people step up and see, if they can handle the Raiders? No mistakes, no penalties, especially early and late. Those are when you hate those types of things. It kills your motivation early, and then it's just a killer when it happens late in the game.
Yeah, agreed.
Turnovers, no turnovers, or positive turnovers. Let's, stay ahead of them in that regard. And then lastly, consistency. Long drives, get the defense off the field. If you let Carr stay out there on the field, he's going to pick you apart. And he's capable of short and long. So we could be exposed if we don't protect the long plays. I expect a good competitive game, a nail biter all the way. We're not going to walk away with this one. I say 35-27. That's
35-27. Okay. Well, the good news is they have the 26th worst defense in the league. We're 21. And we know how many points we let up every week. So imagine how many points the Raiders are giving up every single week. I'm looking at the Raiders. They got trounced by the Buccaneers last week. They played really well against the Chiefs and put up 40 points, also giving up 32 at the Chiefs. And I don't know what that was. I don't know if the Chiefs just fell asleep or it was a tough in-division rival game. I really don't have an answer on that one. I don't think anybody would have picked that. They also lost to the Bills. They lost to the Raiders, and then they rattled off two in a row. So they're kind of like they can't figure out if they're a good team or a bad team just yet either, right? So
yeah, they're capable. They're capable of, they beat some pretty good teams, so they're not going to lay over and play dead. So if Carr has a good game, it's going to be tough. If he has a bad game, hopefully we can take advantage of it and score some points on turnovers.
Yeah, absolutely. Give some shout outs to some of the guys in the chat: Alex Mayani, Derek Jones, Cleveland BCI, Nicholas Stevenson, Outdoor Life, John Sansbury. Sports Expert 101, he's a new guy. Evan Christianger, Gary Washington, what's going on? Gary, Patreon guy. A couple of Patreon guys. Derek's in there too. Hambone, how's it going? Edward's in the house. TJ Higgum, guys, appreciate it. Biscuits and gravy. Yeah, Eric, all those guys. DF Sports, what's going on, man? So we got a whole bunch of people in chat right now. Rocking and rolling. We're going to be doing a couple giveaways today. I'm actually wearing a homage shirt right now. So this is a homage week. Non-Browns, which is fine. I was talking to Ristano and I was like, look, every time I wear a Browns jersey, we don't play well. The two games that we lost so far this year, I was actually wearing a Browns jersey those games. So now I'm just going to go with a t-shirt and a t-shirt sponsor. And by doing that, hopefully the mojo and the positive energy will continue moving forward. So no jersey on this side.
And your mother has her Baker jersey on again this week. So
great.
2 weeks in a row. And
yeah, what a week Baker had last week too, right? If he can continue, if we're playing against one of the worst defenses in the league, who is two worse than Cincinnati in terms of yards per game.
Right.
And then from the passing yards per game, they're still probably like 20th or 20th in total, but yards per game, they're giving up 283 yards per game.
Wow.
That's quite a bit, but we're giving up 288. So we give up a lot of passes as well. From a rushing percentage, the Raiders are still Actually, they're right in the middle. They're like 15, something like that. So, but in terms of points, they give up a lot of points. So they're second to last in the league in terms of points. They give up 32.8. We give up 31.6. So defense to defense, it's not even close. Then if you go over to the offensive side, from a yards per game, they get a lot of yards, right? They're 1, 2, 5, 6, 9 or 10, and we're like 16. Rushing, we're number 3. They're like number 18. And then passing, we're towards the bottom of the league, and they're actually towards the top. And then finally, points per game, we are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We're 10th and they're 11th. So I mean, this is honestly like fairly evenly matched.
Sure.
Game.
Yeah,
I mean, this could go either way.
Right. I mean, you don't want to get blown out and then go into the bye week. I mean, that would be really depressing to have to sit on that for 2 weeks. So
I don't see a blowout here.
I don't want to lose on a field goal either and have to sit on that. I want to win, and I want to go 6-2.
Yeah, I think 6-2 would be fantastic. I mean, if the national media, the local and national media, keep comparing us again in those 2 games that we lost. We lost to 2 of the best defenses in the league. Pittsburgh's number 1 in terms of yards per game, and Baltimore's like 9th or 10th. So I mean, we're those are really good teams. Okay, that's totally fine.
Nothing wrong with losing to those two teams. What's up, man? As your 2 losses.
Yeah, I mean, and guess what? Almost every other team in the NFL has lost to them too, other than the Chiefs. So
and Pittsburgh is due to lose. They play the Ravens today. Going to be a good game. A lot of good games that are out there that are interesting games to watch. That one in particular, Miami coming out with their new quarterback. That's going to be interesting to watch. See how well he does. It's a tough one to start. So I think
if the Steelers go into Baltimore, like play the Ravens in Baltimore after going to Tennessee and beating Tennessee, we got to all sit back and go, the Steelers are for real, because they have a very soft. I wouldn't say very, but they have a soft rest of the schedule. They got to go to Dallas. They got to play Cincinnati twice, the Jaguars, the football team, the Bills, and us. So the Steelers have they
can walk into it. They can walk into it.
They got a path, right? And that's fine. That January 3rd game, I'm telling you, I've been saying this all year. That is going to be a critical game. It's going to be a critical game for us getting in and our position within the playoffs. Right. And for the Steelers, it's going to be a home field advantage. They're going to want home field. So they're going to want to win that game. That's not going to be a layup for either team. Plus, it's a rivalry game as well. I don't know. I mean, going back to the Raiders, from what I see with the Raiders, I want to look at the injury report real quick. So we're only losing the same standard guys. I think Cooper's out. Jacob Phillips is out. He's just been out for forever. And Wyatt Teller's out. They are not losing anybody. They got Arden Key, their defensive end, is doubtful, didn't practice all week, and then Brian Edwards, not to be confused with Braylon Edwards, wide receiver, is questionable, but he'll probably play. So we're looking at a mostly full strength Raiders today, coming to Cleveland. So
but unusual to be this late in the season, halfway through, and they're as healthy as they are, and we're getting back there too. We get it. We get this.
Hooper's going to be back. Hooper's going to be back. The only problem with that appendix that gets taken out is they have to go through the stomach, right? So they have to get through that stomach wall where there's a lot of muscles, and that's a very uncomfortable thing, right? Gary Washington.
They did it robotically and minimized that, but you never know.
So Gary Washington says, Mike, we are 5-0 when Hunt scores a TD. So I think Hunt has to get going on the ground.
Absolutely.
That is an absolute critical thing. Like I said, in terms of rushing yards per game, they're actually okay, the Raiders. But passing yards per game, they're actually towards the back of the league, and so are we. So, again, it's like I'm trying to look for these advantages. I think Derek Carr is currently kind of playing out of his mind. I mean, he's having statistically a very good season. QBR 80, 13 touchdowns, 100 or 1,077 or 1,726 passing yards. He's only thrown, I believe, like two interceptions this year.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he's just playing well, right? I mean, I don't know what else to say. He's just this is not a situation that usually Derek Carr is a very pedestrian type quarterback. He had one season where he threw into the 30s in touchdowns. Last year, 21 touchdowns, 8 interceptions. So he's becoming more of a veteran, just a consistent type. You know, I'm only gonna throw around 20 because the last couple of years it was 22, 19, 21, and now he's at 13. Right about mid-season he's at 13, so he could get back to that 30 touchdown mark. Back where probably his best season statistically, where he was 28 touchdowns and 6 interceptions back in 2016. I mean, he's got the ability. He's got his highest QB rating this year, not QBR, but just regular old school rating, 112. So Derek Carr is playing out of his mind. I don't know if he's faced a pass rush like he's going to face today from a defensive line standpoint. I think Miles is and Derek Carr isn't a fleet of foot type of guy. From a rushing perspective, he's got 15 attempts and 53 yards.
Wow.
2 fumbles, 1 lost. His longest run's 10 yards for the season. So Derek Carr is not going to be a threat to get away from Myles Garrett. Myles Garrett has the advantage there big time. Big time. So I think that we're actually looking at. I mean, I know that Myles is going to be able to get to Derek Carr at least once today. Hopefully, we'll be able to do one of those strip sacks,
Right.
that he's been doing all year. So yeah, Derek Carr's. I mean, this is gonna. I think we're gonna score points. I wouldn't be surprised if we both score 40 points today.
Well, we got to score points. If we don't score points, we turn the ball over, 3 and out. Guys are not. Baker's off. The guys are dropping. Who knows? Pick 6, whatever. I mean, we can't win this game. We got to win this game. Like I said, 35-27, 35-32. I mean, you're right. It's going to be our defense is not good enough to keep them off the field totally. So it's just going to be maybe who has the ball last, who kicks the last field goal. I mean, it could come down to one of those types of games.
Yeah, well, the chat's saying that Trent Brown is out. Ara, how's it going? Trent Brown's their defensive or offensive tackle. Their big offensive tackle.
I saw one guy was out. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm trying to see who's their backup then. So I guess it would go to Sam Young, and this is on the right side, right? So I think they're going to be okay. I'm not super worried about that. I think from an offensive line perspective, I think Myles Garrett and even Ogunjobi are well matched in terms to face off against this offensive line.
Yeah, I think I listened to Quincy's broadcast talking about what needs to be done this week, and part of what he was saying was they got to give Myles some help. From the other side. You can't allow them to double team and triple team him every play with no pressure being brought by Richardson or Vernon. I mean, they have to put some pressure on. Maybe it's the linebackers, maybe it's a blitz, rattle them up a little bit. But if they just, rush 4 guys and they double team Baker or double team Myles, we're just not going to get it done. We're going to struggle. They're going to score. Hopefully, they don't score too easily.
Right.
But those things happen. So let's see who shows up, who steps up. Does the defense do it? If they do, great. We'll have a great ball game.
We'll be in good shape. I just want to give a shout out very quickly to our sponsors of the show. So Tim Ali Realty. So you'll see it's up right now. So if you're in the northeast Ohio area looking to buy or sell a home, give William Ali. His phone number is going to be populating every so often, just rotating along with the other logos there. So give William Ali a call. Guy has been was sponsoring us all during the postseason, where we weren't doing a whole lot of videos. So I really would like to give him a little bit more publicity now. Schlegel Law Firm as well. He's in the Columbus area, but he services pretty much all of Ohio. Member of the Ohio board, and if you have any legal service needs, give Schlegel Law a call. Look him up. Also, Homage, which is the t-shirt I'm wearing today, and also Sabo Apparel. So Sabo's got a bunch of really cool veteran-owned small business out of Cleveland who give us a t-shirt to give away every week. So big thanks to them, and also Homage, who's been kind of with us from the very beginning, giving away t-shirts. So thank you to all those guys helping us out with the Patreon as well. If you want to have your name listed at the bottom, all it takes is $1. If you want to have your name in bold or in capital letters, I should say, it just takes $5 to do that, and you can support us. A lot of the guys who are typically here every week, so like Gary Washington and Max Nikolenko and Derek Jones. I mean, a lot of those guys are coming back who are showing up on the Patreon. So if you like the content that we provide, do that. Also, hit the like button for us. Right now, everybody using chat, hit the like button. We will definitely score on this defense. It all depends on the defense continuing to get turnovers. I think there's kind of two keys to this game too, Dan. If I had to pick, I would say it's going to come down to, like Ara said, on the turnovers, and then also it's going to come down to the special teams play. I really do think our offenses are matched up really well. If Baker does not turn the ball over, and we get Derek Carr, we put pressure on him and make him turn over, we're going to be really good. Ara, the Patreon is patreon.com/browniepostgame. Or if you just Google Patreon Brownie Postgame, it'll take you there. So
I checked the weather. The weather, there was rain that passed through the last couple of hours, but that's gone.
Okay.
So it looks like, as we approach game time, the field will be wet. And maybe a little slippery, but it's not going to be, a rainstorm. It's not going to, maybe after halftime or whatever. I don't know what the long-term forecast is, but I think for the first half, it's going to be okay.
Okay, good. So it'll be a clear day. I really hope we start off on defense. I hope we can go out there and start off on defense and shut them down. Right? I like getting the ball in the second half. I like that sort of start to the game. That's what I'm hoping for. I always get excited when we're kicking off. I'm like, okay, this is good. We're in good shape here, So, but I also think special teams is gonna be a factor here, because I think we both can score, and we both really don't have good defenses in terms of the points per game that we're giving up. So expect a high scoring game, and then really expect it could be like the Cincinnati game. Whoever has the ball last wins.
Right.
And the challenge, I think, with the Browns this year, and even in the playoffs this year, is going to be can they figure out a way to keep a team under 20 points? I mean, Joe Woods has got to figure out with the players that he has if he can keep a team under 20 points, because 30 plus points a game, I mean, it's just so you're rolling the dice and just hoping that you get the ball last. And hoping that your team makes magical plays like we did against the Bengals there. But that's not a consistent formula for winning and being a quality football team in the NFL. And that certainly doesn't work in the playoffs. As you saw against two very good playoff teams with the Steelers and the Ravens, we got worked, and we're probably going to have to go to their stadiums as well. So we have to figure out a way to stop teams in some way. And the formula right now to beat the Browns has been very clearly documented. You just got to throw the ball 1 billion times. You really do. So if you pass, you're going to do well. And Derek Carr's a good quarterback, so at least he is at this point in his career. So we shall see.
Yeah. The Raiders do throw the ball, but the two that we got beat, the Ravens ran the ball on us, and Pittsburgh, did pretty good on the ground against us. It wasn't so much Big Ben that beat us per se, and was we sort of shot ourselves in the foot a couple of times as well. But
yeah,
it's really a momentum game. I mean, I watched all the college games yesterday. A couple of things stand out. Obviously watched Virginia Tech because of you, and they go up 21-0 on Louisville. It was not a bad team. I mean, I was shocked when they went up 21-0. and then they let their foot off the gas. They gave up an 80-yard touchdown, and then just before the half, the Louisville goes to just run the clock out with 35 seconds, 40 seconds on the clock, a running play up the middle, and Virginia Tech doesn't pay attention. And the guy goes another 80 yards for a touchdown. So, I mean,
we can't let up big plays.
No, we can't. We cannot do that.
Big plays, turnovers, special teams is what this game's going to come down to. We have to be able to convert. When we missed that extra point, I almost lost my damn mind. When we missed that extra point against Cincinnati, we scored a touchdown. We did all that, and then the guy can't execute. He's been great. Cody Parkey, he's been great ever since we put him on the field after game one. He's been super consistent. And then when God forbid that wouldn't have been a touchdown where we actually just tied the game. Imagine if we just tied it and then he missed the extra point and we lost because of that. I mean, those are risky plays.
Yeah, I think, extra points are important. If we score a touchdown or we get a field goal opportunity early in the game, it'll be the first test for him, for Parkey, to put that behind him. Yeah. If he makes the field goal, he makes the extra point, all's forgiven, and we're on to the next streak or whatever, and you can count on him. If he misses a field goal, or God forbid he misses an extra point, they'll be calling for his scalp, and we'll be scouting the boards looking for a kicker again. So the other observation I wanted to make, Mike, on the college games yesterday in preparation of the draft next year, this kid, Justin Fields,
is pretty good.
Oh, man. I watched him against Penn State, and, looking at his stats, 28 for 34 and 4 touchdowns. Just seemed like every time he threw the ball, the guy was open and he was right on the money.
Yep.
He is going to, depending on how the rest of the season goes, he's going to give Trevor Lawrence a run for his money, 1 for the Heisman, and 2 to be the number 1 draft pick overall. So if you're sitting there like the Jets or the Giants or, somebody that's just stinking up the place, and you're thinking, who do I take? Do I take, Trevor? Do I take the other guy, Fields? That makes or kills your whole team.
Yeah.
For the next 10 years. So it's a key play. So I'm glad that Dorsey went through all the mechanics, picked Baker, stuck with him, said he's our guy. And of all the things that have happened between last year and this year, I still miss Dorsey. I wish he was around. I think we would.
From a talent perspective, he's there, but I got to tell you, Barry bringing in Hooper. I don't. Good. He hasn't done bad. I think the thing with Barry though is he hasn't focused at all in defense, and I couldn't say that. I couldn't say he hasn't at all. But with the parts now, where we're coming up to the trading deadline, and the rumors are out there about us trying to go for more offensive firepower now that Odell's out for the year. Man, I don't see us having an offensive problem. I know Odell Beckham Jr. is a special talent and fantastic player to have, but when we lost him against the Bengals, it has to be said, that's when Baker went off and threw 5 touchdowns. So while, yes, he's fantastic and he's a home run threat, we still have a lot of talent all over the field, especially when Nick Chubb comes back and Hooper comes back, right? So I think from an offensive talent, I would much rather us sit there with the offense that we have and then go out and get a better safety, go out and get more depth at linebacker, right? Some more. We did sign a linebacker. We signed a linebacker this week off of I want to say like Detroit's practice squad. So we're looking for it.
There's not much out there. People are picking up talent. We haven't picked up much. Looking at chat, Evan says, "When is the Sendeo jersey giveaway?"
I mean, if we end up if we don't make the playoffs, we'll do a Sendejo jersey giveaway. You could just buy you could buy a Hayden and just put your own.
I'd love to see him have a good game. I'd love to see him make some tackles, do an interception, get a pick six, knock down a key play. I mean, he's just been raked over the coals by everybody, and we're still, 5-2, and he wouldn't have won the Ravens game or the the Pittsburgh game. I mean, that wasn't on him, and he, 75% good, 25% not so good.
Right.
And so far, that 25% not so good has not hurt us really bad. Hasn't given up a game-winning touchdown or created a penalty at a very bad
He's just
part of the game.
I think Sadeo's they're trying to work him out, and Ronnie Harrison is going to be the guy, and maybe Redwine's going to be the guy. I think they just got to give him a couple more reps, and we're going to see a natural transition in the second half with more practice and stuff to a Redwine and Ronnie Harrison type Browns depth.
Right.
I would assume, right? I'm looking at Redwine. You're gonna have Redwine and Harrison are the two guys that you're gonna probably see over Carl Joseph and Sendejo. The older, more experienced guys that are just slower and unfortunately are giving up big points. But the other thing that Ristano kind of pointed out as well is we have a problem right now at linebacker. Taki he's not carrying his weight, and Mac Wilson this season has just kind of been abysmal. So, and yes, Mac Wilson had the knee injury. He came back from that. He might have come back a little bit early from that. Who knows? But his production on the field is not relative to where we expected him to be this year, right? So Mac Wilson was a guy everybody was really excited about. He gets hurt, and now blah, right? Linebacker position has been pretty bad. Malcolm Smith has been fantastic. Malcolm Smith is a guy who's kind of come out of nowhere and shined. Tavari Thomas has done really well too in terms of the corner.
Okay too.
He's done all right. He's kind of been there, right place at the right time. I think really the stars on the defensive line with Myles Garrett, Ogunjobi when he's healthy, and then Denzel Ward's played fantastic this year.
Right,
I mean, those guys have won us. The reason why we've won games is Denzel Ward and Myles Garrett, which we drafted them to be. So those are draft picks that are really working out. That's good, right?
I agree.
We need to beef this up. This defense. We got to get Delpit back. We got to get Greedy Williams back eventually, and see where we go. But I think at the end of the day, there's going to be when the draft happens, and the offseason, you're going to look for us to add in those pieces where you can clearly tell. I mean, these are analytics guys, right? That's why we hired Barry and Stefanski and those guys, like to look at the analytics, find out what's working and what's not. There's no way that they can ignore how bad Sendejo's playing. They can't ignore that and go, yep, that's the problem.
Well, he's not going to take us to the promised land. I mean, you can't. He's going to get us those victories that we need to get for the most part.
Yep.
But to step up against Pittsburgh, Cincinnati, Cincinnati did okay. Kansas City, the elite teams with elite, either running games or passing games, he's I hate to say mediocre, but he's just average, and he'll help you sometimes, but he won't get you to the promised land.
Yeah, and that's the thing. We don't have. I think that the playoff teams, the teams that are really good, unless you have just a completely one-sided team, but so rare that a completely one-sided team makes it to the playoffs and makes it long into the playoffs. Every team, if you think about even the Chiefs last year, with how good their offense was, even the Patriots as well, balanced, good offense, good defense. It wasn't like all offense. It wasn't the only team that I can remember really recently that made it to the playoffs and actually won with a heavy defense has been the Ravens, right? Yeah. Who are out of balance in terms of the talent level and stuff. But if you have a good enough defense, then you really only need to score like 13 points and you're going to win a game. Imagine if we had a dominant defense, we could be even better than we are today. And I think that's going to be the Achilles heel. Because
there's not much defense out there. We're having record scoring.
Yep.
And so I can't really think of a team, the Bears have, come back to earth as far as their defense is concerned. The Ravens can be beat. We'll see how they do against the Steelers today. The Colts, were being flagged, and then we took them to task. Mm-hmm. So there's really nobody out there that's winning games like, 17-13 or 13-6 or whatever. they're all high scoring games because they're throwing the ball so much. They're scoring quickly, which means another possession, an extra possession. They're hitting hard, which means there's going to be turnovers. The ball's going to be flying up in the air, which means another possession. So, I mean, it's changed. I mean, it's gone to the passing game. And, if you run second, you need a secondary that can stop the pass or at least try to get you off the field. And that's what, going back to the college game last night, Penn State could not get off the field. Ohio State, every time Penn State tried to get back in the ball game, Ohio State would just, with Fields, they would just run down and score and then go up by 2 touchdowns again or 3 scores. So you've got to get your defense to step up, make those great plays, get your offense back on the field, and keep, David Carr off the field. You keep him off the field, he can't score touchdowns on you. So
I wonder what the line is currently. Chat, can somebody find out?
It's 2.5.
Okay, so we lost a little bit. So people were betting a little bit more on the Raiders.
And I think it's 51 over and under. 51 and a half, something 50, like that.
I think we're going to go over. I would bet the over on that. I mean, you look at the defenses and the offenses. So there's 6 teams in the NFL who have scored 200 or more points. Out of those 6 teams, I think there's only 2. Yes, there's only 2 that have a negative point differential. So we've scored 200 points right now. And we have a negative 21 point differential. The other team that has a negative point differential scored over 200 is the Falcons, 209, and they have a negative 15. So they're 2-6. That's how important defense is. The Falcons are imploding because they're giving up 50 points a game.
Yeah, they're making bad, and at the end of the game.
Yeah.
You watch a Falcons game, they're competitive throughout the game, and then all of a sudden they go and just make some horrible decisions at the end. They're the best 2-6 team in the league. And there's a good chance, instead of being 2-6, at the worst, they should be 4-4 because they gave up 2 or 3 games on the very last play of the game. They are not bad. Julio Jones had an outstanding game on Thursday night.
Yeah.
And so did, Matt Ryan. He hit him 4 times, I think, in the first drive going down to score. Atlanta, if they can put another couple of wins together, I wouldn't be surprised if they're still in it. If they get to 6-6 for, by some miracle, they could be around if they stay healthy and Julio Jones and the guys continue to play well.
All right, guys, we're gonna do the T-shirt giveaway. I'm gonna type it in there. 1 to 100 go for the T-shirt. We're gonna give the Sabo Apparel T-shirt away. So I got my number in. Sabo Apparel T-shirt, anyone you want. In order to actually win the T-shirt, I should give the instructions while we're doing the number. The way that you do it, because I've had people. I actually had people who've won who are like, "Cool, here's my address. Love the shirt." And I'm like, I need to know what shirt you want and what size. And then they give me the shirt and they don't tell me what size. So, right. And I try to go back and forth as much as possible, but we have one guy who won a couple weeks ago who never told me a size, and I don't want to give him something wrong. Just tell me what size you want. Because what I do,
you can only enter once, guys.
Yeah. You if you enter more than one time, you're
disqualified. So
yeah, we've had some people win before. We've had people hit the number before where they've entered like 3 times, and sorry, you're out. I don't care if it was the first one or the 5th one. You enter more than one time, you're out. In terms of how it works, guys, I'm not physically buying the shirt. I'm going to my rep at Sabo and my rep at Homage and just telling him your name, address, shirt with a link, and the size. So when you email me at browniepostgame@gmail.com, I need the URL, your address, and your shirt size. That's it. Okay, getting closer. Still some numbers trickling in. But Sabo Apparel, guys, is awesome. They make really, really good shirts, really cool designs. Most of them are just, kind of like general Cleveland with Browns colors stuff. And you do that because you can avoid some of the licensing fees. But in order to do that, when they sell them, they're selling them for like $20. So the difference between a licensed shirt for 30 or 35 because you got to pay the team, you got to pay the license fee versus the $20 that they're giving you, it's worth it. And, so I think it's great. Still got some numbers trickling in. Ara says, what happens for us out of the U.S. guys, Mike? I think it depends, Ara. I think it depends where. I had somebody in Africa. Like, I'm not kidding. Like an African country win a shirt, and I could not ship it to them. Mm-hmm. So it depends where you are. If you're like Canada, I think it could be okay. But homage specifically gives me kind of like a little bit of a difficult time shipping it outside, like internationally. So if you happen to win, Ara, and you're out of the U.S. and you're way outside the U.S., please let me know and we'll try to work something out. I want to make sure if everybody wins, they get a chance to actually get the shirt, right? Okay. Oh, he's in Scotland. Okay. I think that should be all right. But I will double check. Homage might give me a little bit of an issue. Sabo's probably going to be cool with it, but we'll see. So this one is for Sabo though. Okay, so the number is 41. Anybody get close to 41? Ooh, nobody got even 50. We got Oranger Veritas with a 52. And that might do it because Derek had a 30, so he's one off.
49.
Is there a 49?
Yeah.
Do you not see the 49? Hold on. Who's the 49, Dad?
Lee, List.
Oh, yeah.
Least.
Least. Okay, so he wins.
Congratulations.
You win the shirt from Sabo. Okay, so List or Least, Lee Street. I don't know what it is. List. Mm-hmm. Lee Street, Leasta. Lee, all you got to do is go to send me an email to browniepostgame@gmail.com. That's how you contact me. browniepostgame@gmail.com. Pick out a shirt from Sabo Apparel. Pick out a shirt. Give me the URL of that shirt, your address and size, and send that to me. And they're really good about turning around really quick. And usually people are getting the shirt within about a week or two. Homage usually takes a little bit longer. Sabo is really good about pumping them out really quick. So super good.
We gotta go.
All right, guys, appreciate it. We have the game coming up. We're about to go 6-2. This is going to be somewhat of a nail biter. I expect fireworks and touchdowns and all that great stuff. Hopefully Baker can continue his role. Hopefully Miles can continue his role about defensive player of the year. So we're playing for the playoffs, guys. We have 4 winnable games. Raiders, Texans, Eagles, and Jags. The next 4 games are winnable. And God, I got to tell you, I'm not as afraid of Tennessee. They have one of the worst defenses in the league as well. I think we're going to give Tennessee a good game too. So we'll see how that goes, guys. I appreciate everybody, and we will see you after the game. Go Browns.
Go Brownies.